All right, I'm Jim Turner from Salt Lake City, Utah. Gun owner, concealed carry permit holder. Been around guns all my life. I ride motorcycles, and most of the folks I ride with got an opinion that's not quite consistent with mine, so I don't talk about it a whole lot. But inherently, we need to create an environment where a gun owner is responsible for his weapons and how they're used. He needs to be responsible for them, to be sure that they're securely stored and responsibly used by him or anyone else that he may permit to use the gun. Responsibility of the purchaser needs to be verified through a background check. And if you're going to sell it openly at something like a gun show, there shouldn't be an exception for that. It's going to happen on a personal level, and I don't know what we can do about that. It gets back to the registration issue, but certainly we need background checks, and that's something we can easily accomplish. Okay.
My name is BART TIPPITS. I started a group called Utahans for Gun Reform. This is basically was in response to what the Parkland massacre occurred. The current law, they have prevented felons and people who have criminal history acquiring weapons. And so it makes sense that if someone wants to buy a weapon through a private sale, either at a gun show or an individual or online, that they have to show that a card that they pass a background check. It's so simple, and everybody, even the gun owners, NRA people, are saying that makes sense. I forgot what the stats are as far as what Americans want. It's way overwhelmingly that they don't have any problem with that. We're not taking people's rights to guns away. The problem is these guns, the good guys that have guns end up selling these to bad guys. That's where they get the money. That's where they get all these weapons. At gun shows. Yeah. The cartels, and they go and buy straw bars, and then they go into areas where they have very loose gun restrictions, and it goes on the market, along with the drug market. The question is not restricting guns. The question is saving lives. That's it, saving lives. And I found out that when places are most restrictive as far as gun safety laws, we have less gun violence.
My name is Bobby HUGHES-MILLER, and I am a gun owner, and I am a former member of the NRA. I come from a family of 4 kids, and I have a father who has been a hunter all of his life. And I remember as young as 4 years old, my father would have his guns, his hunting rifles, locked up in storage, but when hunting season came around, he would get them out, sheathed, and put them in the corner. He would lay his hunting clothes down, and he would have our dog come over, sit there, guard my guns, and then he'd go off to work. And, there's something wrong with the security system where you have 4 children and a dog. Now, this dog was very good at keeping us away from the rifles, except we knew her weakness, food. And so we would lure her away. And then as she was just feet away, we'd run over and touch the guns just to show her we had that power. And she'd come running back with a slice of lunch meat in her mouth, trying to bark at us and trying to get us away from the guns. But she knew that we had that power over her. Years later, I joined the Marine Corps. And I went off to boot camp. And while we were there, we found out we were going to be the first American women to go through combat training at boot camp. But first, before we went, we were getting M16s, and this was new. And I don't know if it was because we were women or if they do it with everybody, but they made sure we knew everything about the M16. We could break it down, put put it back together. Every little pin in the bolt action group we could put together on that M16. And we knew what that weapon was made for. It wasn't for protection. That weapon was not meant to keep us safe. That weapon, as they said, was to send somebody else to die for their country. And that's it. That weapon was meant to kill people. After I got out of the Corps, I bought guns. I had 30-30s, I had 22, 12-gauge shotguns. I would go out and I would shoot them. I would do target practice. I would go out with friends who had guns. And at that time, I was a member of the NRA. But I never thought I'd see the day when this country would allow people to buy an assault weapon similar to an M16 from Walmart without any training whatsoever. The military made sure that we knew everything about that gun, but a civilian doesn't have to know anything. They can just go in, show their ID, and purchase one of those same type of weapons. We know what an M16 can do to the body. It isn't like getting hit by a 45. It tears you up. It is meant to make sure that you bleed out fast. We don't have laws right now that protect people from that, and we need to. In my opinion, the laws we have are just far too weak for the types of weapons that are now coming out and into our country, into our government, or into civilian hands. It's just astounding to me.